I'm an ambassador of Childline, that I say that.
Well, you know,
there's a differentiation between children beneath 16 and those above.
Okay. There are really two aspects to this. One is the legal aspect, which defines their legal liabilities, their responsibilities. The other is the social aspect. For a minute before talking about the legal aspect, I will dwell on the social aspect. In India, even to this day and age, even in the modern India that we are in now, is it all right if an 18-year-old comes home and tells his parents, I turned 18 yesterday, and this is the woman I have married? Is it all right for parents? Would parents accept the boy's judgment of his decision to marry?
What we're talking about here is the Juvenile Justice Act. And part of the act is that any juvenile will first be referred to the juvenile board for evaluation as to whether this teenager, 16-year-old, has the capacity to understand the consequences of his crime or not before he is prosecuted.
Yes.
And therefore, that mechanism of safety has been inserted deliberately in there so that there are no miscarriages of justice in terms of who is tried and who is punished. I just want to make that clear. Because the Juvenile Justice Board is the intermediary in deciding whether this person has the judgment of an adult or not. And I submit that today's 16-year-olds are far wiser, far smarter, far more informed than the 20-year-olds of 20 years ago.
Okay, we'll let you come in, sir, but we'll let Ira come in. No gray areas for today.
Maybe. I do believe that at the moment, India is a very large country with many different kinds of people in many different kinds of social strata. So I don't think that one rule which we can apply to even a city like a Delhi or a Bombay, there's then rural India. So if we apply a rule of 16 versus 18, this is for the entire country. You know, we don't have laws which are state-wise or region-wise. And so I do think taking the diversity of this country, taking the fact that, you know, we really are changing at a very, very fast pace. Our society is changing really literally at cyber speed. The kind of things that happen today with technology, with mobile phones, with the internet, with infrastructure, with road connectivity, planes, trains, whatever is really in some way, as you said correctly, that kids today are far wiser and far less protected than they were 20 years ago. And far more informed. So I do think that what we need in place is a case-by-case basis. Now, looking on the other hand, look at the Nirbhaya case. It was that juvenile who performed the most heinous of the crimes, if you look very closely at that rape. So does that young man deserve to be punished? Yes. And on that point, if you look at the juvenile centers that we have, the reform centers that we have, they're in awful condition.
It hands over a 16-year-old to the process of law. That's the purpose of the Juvenile Justice Board, which is part of the Act. And therefore, I support the Act.
Exactly.
I have an issue with it because, one, I think it's a shortcut. It's, you know, the problem is that the rule of law doesn't exist. I mean, what makes you think that adults who anyways today, if they committed something like a rape, are going to get the severest punishment? Yet adults keep committing those crimes. So what guarantees that there is a 16 and 17-year-old is going to listen now that the law has come down, they get the same punishment as a 32-year-old. The 32-year-old doesn't care about it. Why would the 16-year-old care about it? That's my one problem with it.
Okay, so if someone wants to
get punished, it'll be expedited, it'll go through the courts really fast. They won't commit that crime. You don't need to change the law. You need to implement the law. And I think it's a shortcut because what's dangerous is they might then what they need to do is train the police, sensitize them. You know, they have so much work to do. The guy in the Nirbhaya case was, as a 10-year-old, staying on the streets. There are a lot of kids like that out there. There are more rapists to come because the system has failed them. So I'm saying that reducing this law, let's not forget that there's a lot of reform, a lot of education that needs to be done, and the groundwork and infrastructure needs to be done. Otherwise, they're going to sit back and say, "Ab to humne law change kar diya," now they'll get scared. They're not going to get scared. It's not going to take care of the rapes. I don't know.
I think a lot of people will be deterred once they realize the consequence of this. I mean, like that case on Gumrah where this boy uploaded a video of him and his girlfriend and ended up ruining the lives of the girl, himself, his family, his brothers, sisters, her family, etc. So people just think it's fun, it's okay. If you realize that, listen, this is a crime, and if you do that crime, you're going to suffer severe penalties, not just legally, but socially, and there are huge consequences to this. People will stop and think 10 times before texting an MMS like that. Not that it doesn't happen, but the thing is, once people are aware of the severity of consequences, I'm sure a lot who might have done it won't do it, and there's no way of measuring that except common sense.
No, sir, but then why are there so many rapes still going on in our country?
You can't prevent rape, you can't prevent crime. It's a question of how much
You
you
could
diminish
if-
it
Okay, I need
and
to
how
come
you
in here.
punish it.
One is looking at the micro picture, one is looking at the macro picture. So it's a question of the bigger one. Abhay is coming in with a bigger picture where he says it's society and a lot of things that are not going right for us. But as of now, the whole discussion was on this. I'll have to come in between both of you. This discussion will go on otherwise. But sir, 16 years old, 17 years old, in recent cases, have been involved in crime.
And 18.
Well, no, in fact,
For the rapist in the Nirbhaya case,
No, I
who
agree, it's
did
not.
the most brutal of the acts was done by the 16-year-old who consorted with adults, who participated in this act fully aware of what he was doing with adults. Do you think
How
3
many
years
years?
is enough?
no, it's not. I agree with you.
3 years.
There I agree with you. Keep him longer. Keep him longer.
The Juvenile
within
Act doesn't
social-
allow for longer.
No. So those are the areas where you need amendment. Those are the ones where
You don't have
need
to change the
strengthening
law
and amendment.
entirely. You can just make a few amendments and take it case by case. So that one case could be
Exactly. I do
specially
think
done.
that it
yeah.
needs to be case by case. And also, I mean, the truth of the matter is, in that, let's talk about the Nirbhaya case, because everyone is aware of that case and all of us know about some of the details, is that with that young man, they didn't even know what age he was. I remember there was constantly bone tests, and so many of these people who've been brought up in slums.
16 is an adult. That's as I understand it, right?
No, there's
no,
going
it's
to be
not
really
allowing
right.
space.
Space
It will go to
for-
Juvenile
There is,
Justice
there is,
Board.
The
It
yeah.
juvenile
will
justice-
first go to the board.
Yes.
It
go to
goes
the
first to the board,
board.
and the board decides whether this 16-year-old has the capacity to understand the consequence of his actions, what was his intent, what are the circumstances, and in those circumstances recommends whether he should be tried as an adult or not.
But what happens in a case when, let's say, a 15-year-old girl and a 16-year-old boy are boyfriend and girlfriend and they decide to have sex, and then the father gets angry and then puts him up for rape? Then what happens?
Well, if you're 16,
And
you
the
should
girl is
know.
15.
No, you see, misuse
That's
of
the
this.
age where you
Wait. Misuse of the law is one thing. I mean, there are a lot of women claiming rape after having a relationship of 14 years and then being abandoned by their
That's
boyfriend.
what I mean.
That misuse of law is another issue. The misuse of the law is a separate issue. What I'm saying is, but a 15-year-old boy, a girl, and a 16-year-old boy, and the father decides to take revenge and says this is rape. Well, 16-year-olds should know that now they are being treated as adults, and if they have sex with anybody beneath that age, and if it's reported, it will be categorized as rape under the new law. This is the same penalty that any 18-year-old faces. So I'm saying there's no difference today between the 16 and 18-year-olds,
Or maybe the-
given the way
Or maybe
society
the
has
board
changed.
suggests- or maybe the board says that these two are not really capable of knowing what they're
Or the
doing.
board
and they
decides
should be-
otherwise.
Yes,
Well,
or
they
they
wa-
should be
they have
treated
that
as
discretion.
children. You know, maybe they're brought up in a small village with no schooling. They have no idea. Or it could be, you know, they've been living in a Bombay their whole lives. They know exactly what they're doing. They're exposed. And what Gumrah does, which is what I found very interesting about the show, that it really shows us that these are ordinary kids. Ordinary kids from good schools,
Very true.
who could just be you and me or anyone else, and how crimes are manifesting in their lives, and how these crimes are having immense consequences, not just on their lives, but of those around them. And this is why I feel that Gumrah is such an interesting show. I mean, we really sort of bring up these elements that it can be anyone. It really could be just anyone.
The thing is that just by changing this law, aren't they going to then be lax about sensitizing the police, training the police, perhaps getting some infrastructure in place? Because I think that's where the real
So
work...
that's a very important point that you raised earlier also, and there's another point that you raised just before that, which is the one about consensual sex. Now, I don't know whether everybody knows this, but when the POCSO Act came in, against the recommendation of the National NCPCR and the ministry and all of us, the parliamentary committee decided that consensual sex, which was allowed in Indian law between 16 and 18-year-olds, should be removed when the POCSO law came in. So, in fact, bringing the age down directly conflicts with that issue. You know, what happens when a 17-year-old boy and a 17-year-old girl decide to have consensual sex? Under POCSO, it's a crime.
That's been committed with terrible intent and great damage, physical, mental, or whatever. They decide whether this is to be tried as an adult crime or not. And I hope that the judges of that Juvenile Justice Board will exercise their common sense and not see that the act is turned on its head. The importance of the act, I seriously believe, is not just punishment of people that commit terrible crimes who are 16 years old, but more importantly, sending out the knowledge to people of 16 years old that they are liable. If they do adult crimes, they must do adult time. But there's one thing in the law that I wish was changed, that if a juvenile between the ages of 16 and 18 commits that crime and is found guilty by the courts, he should not be lodged with common criminals in the justice system. He should be lodged in a juvenile home to serve his time, because if he's lodged in jails, he will be sexually abused himself, he will suffer, he will be mixing with criminals, he will have the worst influence on his life, and that is not part of the punishment that was envisaged for this boy or girl. That punishment should be done in juvenile homes. The time should be served there. And that amendment to the law I would like to see. But overall, I support this law completely.
And I also...
But not treat them as adults.
But not treat them as adults. No, that I'm not for. Because I think, that, like I said, this boy who was in the Nirbhaya case, who was raped and grew up on the streets, you think there aren't 30, 40, 50, 60,000 more of him right now? You don't have to be in a jail to be raped and be hardened. Life will do that to you. Just because we have kids on the streets right now. And these could be possibly a future rapists. I'm not saying rape doesn't happen within higher societies. It does. And that's a different set of crime altogether. It's a different group of people altogether. So you've got to take it each and compartmentalize it. And one of the problems is that, you know, they grow up in such environments that they get hardened by the time they're 16, 17.
But unfortunately, law is universal and we cannot compare...
I think there are various things. But I'm saying that one of the issues we do have is poverty, you know. It's a breeding ground for all sorts of criminals. Why are we not addressing that? Because everything is connected at the end of the day. Just by saying, okay, lower it from 18 to 16 isn't going to make it go away. That's my issue. My issue is that might be an excuse to not take care of everything else. That makes it criminal.
I mean, you know,